Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm not going to be on here long because I know today is the day. Today is the day that we either choose democracy or fascism. Everything that has been done, that can be done, has been done. Only thing left is to go vote. Nothing else can be said. You're either going to pick democracy or fascism. You can choose democracy by getting out there and voting, or you can choose fascism by staying at home and not doing anything and allowing those who want fascism to go to the poll and vote for that stuff. But the way you tackle that is when you and when we cast our ballots. You know, I like to make election fun. I like to make voting fun in my own personal life. And so it keeps me away from all of the frustration and pulling my hair out. So I try to relate it to something. And so since I saw all this work that William H. King III did by allowing me to be on his campaign, I saw him do so much work and work hard. I really didn't understand. I will be honest. I did not understand the process of candidates. They go through a lot. When they really want to do well by the people and stand up for the people, they go through a lot. They do a lot to keep their faces out there, to keep information out there. He had to meet and greet constituents. He talked to both parties, the Democrats. He went talked to the Republicans. He's talked to the independents. And I'm not talking about just at a distance. I'm talking about sitting down at the table with them. I'm talking about reaching out to them in hopes that they would reach back. And they did. They began to reach back from Friendswood to League City to all the way up to Galveston and Tiki Island and all these places within Galveston County. He has worked for your vote. He has worked for my vote. And I tell you, I know that people want him to go to the Super Bowl. Today, y'all, is the playoff. We're going to find out tomorrow who went to the Super Bowl. Who going to the Super Bowl? Are you going to let democracy go to the Super Bowl, or are you going to let fascism go to the Super Bowl? It's up to you and I, because whoever gets the power wins the Super Bowl. Whoever gets it, they win the Super Bowl. I would like to know that when I get up and wake up tomorrow morning, the Democrats, I'm talking about across the United States, throughout the United States, made it to the Super Bowl. I don't care if it's state. I don't care if it's county. I don't care if it's federal. Whatever it is, local, I don't care. We need to knock fascism out and keep democracy on all levels. We are the only ones that can fight to get us to the Super Bowl, because today is the playoffs. So I relate it to football because guess what? Every time you cast a ballot, that's another point for your team. It's us versus them. Who you think gonna win? Us versus them. Who you think gonna win? Democracy versus fascism. Who you think gonna win? We got to get it. We have to have a winning mindset. I'm not being braggadocious. What I'm saying is I know people are getting out there voting. I do. But I also know that we can't stop. We cannot stop until the last ballot is counted. And I'm going to say this because God keep putting it on my heart. Do not concede. You wait till every ballot is counted. And I'm talking about across the United States. Democrats, do not concede until every ballot is counted. That's what happened with Biden. You know why? Because if he would have conceded because his opponent was saying he won, those ballots that they had not counted yet, the mail-in ballots, they hadn't counted them yet. So they got to count mail-in ballots after we get through going to the polls today. And it might take a few days, but that's all right. I'll wait. Because you cannot give power easily to people who will abuse it. To people, I told y'all I'm not going to go over it all over again. But it's not just women's rights. They just started there. Now they want to, they're going after Social Security. They're going after Medicare. They're going after Medicaid. They're going after veterans. They going, because benefits that are received with veterans is funneling through that same money. I mean, these people aren't stopping. And if you give them the power, they will do everything that they say they're going to do. They will do it. Most of the time when people say something, their intentions is to do it. They're not saying it just to say it. Also, I'm going to say this. Pray for our people who are going out working at these polls. You know why? Because, now I just heard this, that they are dispatching more law enforcement because they're expecting something. They are expecting something. And they know more than what we know because they get the chatter. They get the chatter. In some states, you've got people with guns standing around drop boxes. Some states, people have went inside and tried to make the volunteers inside unlock the boxes with the votes in it. If you think that these people won't go that extra step to try to get what they want, they are paying people. I know of someone who was offered money to vote Republican. I know that my sister received some message, a text message, saying that to vote for somebody, vote red. Let me tell you something. You don't have no private life. If these people want to break through in your life, they got people on their team that think just as evil as they do. Your Republican senators and congressmen and even people on local levels. The gentleman, the candidate that I'm for, which is William H. King III, his opponent had nerve enough to get on his campaign page and ask people to vote for him. First of all, that's stalking, that's harassment. And it's unsureness of yourself. Because something is wrong when you got to get on your opponent's page and beg. That's what you're doing. You're begging people to vote for you. You're on your opponent's page. See how small-minded these people are? but they're power grabbers. They don't do nothing when they get it. Because evidently, from what I've been seeing these last few years, their constituents don't hold them accountable. That's why they don't even get out here and talk to the constituents. They just vote them in. Just vote them in because they got an order. When people aren't doing right, you don't give them power. You do not continue to give them power. One thing that I can say, not just about William King, but his life in this campaign inspired so many others. You know why? Because they told me. I'm talking about other candidates. They told me how him being on the ticket and they watched him, he inspired them to keep fighting. You're getting out here and voting. You're inspiring someone else to understand that we are in a fight of our lives. Day before yesterday, Oprah, she endorsed Beto. She endorsed Beto. She also endorsed Fetterman. But let me tell you something. When God endorses you, and I believe that God endorsed Pastor King, Candidate King, he endorsed him. And I know sometimes it wore him out, but he kept fighting. He kept meeting people. Even sometimes doors been slammed in his face. I'm talking about people rejecting him, knowing that he's a good person. He's a person that wants good by everyone and for everyone. All I am simply saying this morning, if you've already voted, inspire others to get to the poll. Encourage them to get to the poll. Sometimes people just forget. Sometimes they do. They just get so busy they forget. But today is the playoffs, y'all. Today is the playoffs. Today is going to tell us who's going to the Super Bowl. Y'all, I want to go to the Super Bowl. You want to go to the Super Bowl? Ha! I want to go to the Super Bowl. And I'm just as fired up as I can be. Yes, I am. It's early in the morning right now, but I've been fired up. I'm telling you. I'm fired up because I know I watched the man. I'm telling you, I watched the man give it everything he had. I watched him do it. And he did it with the strength of God. That's how he did it. Even when he had to do a lot of things on his own. But he did it. He didn't let it get him down. When God lets you watch a man, and a man that has been chosen by him, because Candidate King is also a pastor, and he never dropped his obligations to the Lord. He never stopped. And in the same time, he kept fighting for the people. Inside his church and outside. You have to respect a man like that. He is a man of integrity. He is a powerhouse. I tell him that all the time. By being on his campaign, I got to see him in action. He's a powerhouse. He represents so many that have gone on. I'm talking about fighters and some who are still here. He represents. That's just how big of a person he is, how big of a man he is. He's a powerhouse, y'all. That's what we need. And you know what? On this team we own, hey, We want to go to the Super Bowl. He the quarterback. He done gave us all the plays. He done told us everything that we need to do. He done quarterback this thing. And he done got out there and he done coached everybody to the best of his ability. He can't do no more. He done told you everything to do. You only got one thing to do is make the play. And how you gonna make the play? You are going to go and vote. And you're gonna vote against fascism. And you're gonna vote for democracy. And then when you vote, you go tell somebody else to go vote. And if somebody needs a ride to the polls, give them a ride to the polls. Because we are in the fight of our lives. The fight of our lives. The fight of our lives. We can't stop now. We can't stop. I'm telling you, I am fired up and ready to go. I'm fired up and ready to go. I know that William King is fired up and ready to go. I know, because he's been calling the shots. I'm telling you, he quarterbacked this thing. He quarterbacked this thing. We quarterback this thing. All we got to do, whether you offense or defense or running back, whatever you are, you get on the field, you run that ball, you drop that ballot, and you make that point. You know why? Because this man have given everything he got. I watched him do it. God let me watch him do it. And God don't let you see stuff. He don't just let you see stuff for no reason. He lets you see stuff to say, my people who are called by my name, who would humble themselves. He humbled himself. He was wounded. He was weary. He was tired. But he humbled himself and depended and trusted on God. And he quarterbacked this thing. Y'all think Tom Brady is a quarterback. Baby, when it came to this election, when it came to this campaign, when it came to this man of God, he a quarterback. And Tom Brady ain't nothing up against him. He ain't nothing up against William King. He is nothing up against him when it comes to doing right by God's people, to wanting the best for God's people. You are talking about a man that has nothing but power on the inside of him. This man, when I look at him, he reminds me of Martin Luther King. He reminds me of the Mandelas. He reminds me of so many people. Malcolm X, people that they had different personalities. But one thing about it, they still wanted what was best for the people. He reminds me of Obama. He reminds me of all these people. And I know that he's William H. King III. I know that. I'm not crazy. But I also know that God put something special in him. All you got to do is get in position and be ready to go at 7 o'clock this morning and run that ball. Run that ball like you ain't never ran it before. And remember who your quarterback is. Your quarterback is William H. King III, candidate for Galveston County Judge. Come on, people, let's go. We can not let down our quarterback. We can't let him down. He done throw the ball now. All you got to do is go make the point. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do that? Will you do that? Will you do that? That tomorrow morning we'll know he's going to the Super Bowl. He's going to the Super Bowl. I believe in my heart. I believe with everything within me. He ought to be at the Super Bowl tomorrow. Tomorrow, he should be at the Super Bowl. I'm not God. I don't run God's program. Hey, God runs his own program. But I do not believe that God would have chose this man and equipped him with everything that he needed to get to the Super Bowl. He got him to the playoffs. Y'all, today is the playoffs. You can't sit on the sideline. Not when the coach, the quarterback, have told you what to do. He's talked to you. All you had to do was listen to it. He's talked to you about how to file your ballot. He's spoken with you on what to take to the polls. He's told you what not to take to the polls so that you won't be turned around. We can't let them turn us around. And you know how I know that God equipped him. You know how I know that God let him represent. You know how I know, because whenever you shake your opponent, that they lose the little integrity that they had. Oh, come on now. William King ain't never lose his integrity. He never lost it. That's the kind of man I want. That's the kind of leader I want to run this county right here, to oversee this county right here, Galveston County. Yeah, I'm talking about him this morning because this is going to be the last morning I'm going to get to do this because the campaign is over. It's over. It's over. And I'm telling you, I am so honored that William H. King, I'm so honored that he saw a young black woman that nobody else even thought about giving a chance on their campaign. I'm honored. I am so honored. And that's why I gave it everything that I had. I couldn't give no more. But I said, Lord, everything I got, let me put into this campaign. Everything that I got. Because I know that you chose this man. I know you chose him. And he didn't run a dirty campaign. He never ran a dirty campaign. He always stayed the course. He didn't let people get him sidetracked. He stayed the course. He fought the fight. Like it all depended on him. Now we're going to wait. Like it all depends on God. See, these are not tears of sadness. These are tears of joy. And sometimes you got to let it out. Because I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited that he made it to the playoffs, y'all. He made it to the playoffs. And because he made it to the playoffs, he wasn't trying to get there by himself. He was pulling us with him. He was encouraging us along the way. He was keeping us connected. He didn't play no shenanigans. He didn't get on his opponent page and try to pull people from his opponent. He kept doing his thing that God told him to do. And see, he's a prime example what we need to do when we want to give up, when we want to throw in the towel. We can look at William King and we can say, but he kept fighting. I know I can fight. I know I can fight. He kept fighting. He never gave up. He never gave up. He worked hard and he made it to the playoff. And it's up to us to get him to the Super Bowl. To get him to the Super Bowl. Will you help me get him to the Super Bowl? I made my point. I voted early. I made my point. But my point is only one point. But the more we make, guess what? Guess what? We can win the game because it's us versus them. Who you think gonna win? Us versus them. Who you think gonna win? I'm looking to win, y'all. I'm looking to win. I know it's in God's hand from this point. I know it's in God's hand from this point, but I'm looking to win. You don't go in the game expecting to lose. You don't never go in the game expecting to lose. You know what? Because if they can do it, we can too. What I mean by that, if they can make some touchdowns, we can too. And we can get to the Super Bowl. So y'all get up this morning, 7 o'clock, all systems ready to go. I'm telling you, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up, I'm ready to go. You ought to get fired up and ready to go. If you haven't voted, get out there and vote. It's the last day. Because otherwise, you miss an opportunity of your life to save democracy. We got to save democracy. It is fragile. It is fragile. When I heard Liz Cheney, when I heard her say, this is the first time I ever supported a Democrat, this is the first time I'm ever going to vote for the opposite side of the party that I've been in all of my life, because you don't just do it for the party. You do it because you want to save democracy. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You do it because people have fought hard to get your vote. You do it because these people care about you. You do it because people are not trying to take this country down. You do it because they're trying to take everything within them to build everything up. You do it because the love of God. You do it because people are depending on you. You do it for grandma. You do it for the ones who fought before us, who died, who shedded blood so that we can keep going, so that we can do it. Because they did all that they can do. They did all that they can do. It's our turn. It's our turn. So get up, get geared up, take all these rules that William King told you about the game. Guess what? Because he told you now. He already told you. You got the rules of the game. He the quarterback. He done thrown the ball to you. Let's go. Let's go. I'm fired up, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to get off here because I'm getting real happy this morning because I'm excited about what God going to do. All right? Hey, let's go. This is the game of our lives. The playoffs is the game of our life. And thank you, William King, for letting me be on your team. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. You're a good man, and God got you. Now let's go play ball.